Hi Anna, I'm going to show you Suryanamaskar, which is a sun salutation. We're going to do sun salutation A. There are also B and C, which are a little more challenging. So this is a very introductory sun salutation. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to ground through the feet, allow the feet to deeply root down into the mat, and slightly raising the center of the arch here. Now, really focusing on rooting down through the legs, keeping those legs nice and strong, lifting through the kneecap, tucking the pelvis slightly, and coming to the breath here, really allowing that breath to expand the chest with the inhale, and with the exhale, following that breath all the way down the midline, down into the depths of the belly. And with each inhale, finding the chest expanding, but now moving it higher up into the head. And exhaling down, deeply down, rooted in the belly, and possibly past the knees. And inhaling again, and expanding through the chest and up through the head, and possibly through the top of the head, to the crown of the head, allowing the spine to rise, a striving of the upper body, moving up towards the ceiling. Shoulders will come back and down. Hands will open to the front of your space. And just breathe here. This is our Tadasana pose and how we're going to start our sun salutation today. On our next inhale, we'll go ahead, raise those arms up above the head. Fingertips are long and straight and striving. And with your exhale, we'll swan dive all the way down to the mat. Forward fold here. Since we're just beginning our sun salutation, make sure you have a slight bend in your leg. You may want to just walk those feet out a little bit, raising up through the heels, awakening the back of the legs. Beautiful. And then with an inhale, we'll go ahead and come to a half lift. So the back is going to be straight like a tabletop. And it could be that your hands rest on your shins, or they may be on your knees or just above. Lovely. And on your next exhale, folding back down again. Allow the chest to sit on the top of the thighs. And breathe here. Beautiful. And with your next inhale, we're going to rise all the way up, moving the vertebrae, moving through the vertebrae one at a time. And then when we reach the very top, fingertips are pointing towards the ceiling, and a slight arch of the back here, grounding through the four corners of the feet. And exhale, coming all the way back down to our forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, we're going to go ahead and plant the hands. Let's come down. We'll put our feet back and we'll come down with our knees down on the mat. Our shoulder is going to be just above our wrist here. And we're going to come down slowly, keeping those elbows close to the side of the body. Chest, chin, and belly. And then we're going to come up into a cobra pose, really pushing down into the tops of the feet, allowing the shoulders to go down and back and opening through the collarbone. Beautiful. And exhale, coming back down. And we'll push our way back into a tabletop here. And this will be our first introduction to a downward facing dog. So tucking the toes and pushing up and back into our downward facing dog. Hips are pointing as high as they can towards the ceiling. Palms are deeply grounded into the mat. Fingertips or fingers are spread wide apart. And go ahead and take a moment to walk your dog here. Alternating feet, back and forth, or whatever movements feel right for you. We're essentially trying to create a V with the body. So let's let our head fall down between our arms, looking back at our toes. Beautiful. Now we're going to go ahead and walk our feet all the way up to meet our hands. It may be that you need to come on to fingertips in order to make that happen. It may be that you need to have quite a significant bend in your knees, and that's great too. Wonderful. From here, we're going to come back into our forward fold. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding down deep, letting the head go. And inhale, coming all the way up. Fingertips reaching towards the sky. Feet are deeply grounded, feeling a nice stretch from head to toe. And on your next exhale, we'll bring our hands down to our sides. Again, coming into our Tadasana pose, our mountain pose. Tucking through the pelvis. The arch, the foot rises. The kneecaps rise. Shoulders up and back. Beautiful. Looking right over the tip of the nose and with a soft gaze. Beautiful. So that's a very introductory sun salutation A, Suryanamaskar. So I'm going to go ahead and make it a little more complicated. Okay, so this is going to involve just a little more strength in the body and endurance. So it's going to look like this. Arms come up and back. Exhale, folding down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, planting hands, jumping back into a plank pose. Then on your next inhale, coming forward. Exhale, lowering down, pushing up, coming into or that's actually called a chaturanga, that flow there. Releasing the tops of the feet down onto the mat. Here we have what's called an upward facing dog. The legs are up off the mat. The only thing touching are the hands and the tops of the feet. And then we'll go ahead and curl those toes under and push up into our downward facing dog. From here, looking forward, bending through the legs, jumping or hopping to the front of the mat. We'll come now into our forward fold. Halfway lift on an inhale, and exhale, folding back down again. And then inhale, sweeping arms all the way up towards the sky, a slight back bend here. Coming back to neutral and exhaling the hands down to our Tadasana pose. Palms are facing forward. And I didn't say this before, but the legs are always going to be right where the hip bones are. So you'll place your feet about hip bone distance. Another way to remember what that is taking two fists and putting them together. And then if you come down, that should be that amount of space between your feet. Okay, I hope this helps.